Oh, catching flies. Thank you. In his mouth. Oh, yeah. A tasting freedom while he dares. And then crawling back to the top of the stairs. Of the stairs.
You see, you were going for lounge singer, but you came off like William Shatner.
He won't see the sun again for years to come. He's broken out in love. Tippy waitresses. WWE, or is WWE, because it's a singular, not a plural, ruining It's WWE ruining WWE on this show they did. And Kevin Owens. Is WWE ruining Kevin Owens? That's the name of the title. That's what we're talking about first. Press the thumbs up button. Give us a subscribe. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts on what you made of SmackDown this week. I'm Ollie Davis. This is Luke Owen. Welcome to the SmackDown WrestleRamble. And we're also joined by King Chopper Whopper Pete Quinnell on the Super Chats.
I still don't... Why? Okay, my mic's not working. Never mind.
His mic's not working, folks. What a start to the show.
Start to the show we have had thus far.
And of course, WrestleTalk magazine is going monthly in the shops next month on the 19th of September. You can get all of the issues so far by going to WrestleTalk.BigCartel.com, and you can get them all for 15 quid. It's very good value. So, we've had a great 5 weeks of WWE.
Even when SmackDown has not been, like, great or, I'd say, as good as Raw, it's still been a good show.
Yes.
There's still been a lot of really good stuff to talk about. That was not the case on this week's episode of SmackDown.
I feel like we baited this because yesterday on the Raw review, we kept saying, hey, they've got it. They're in their groove now.
It's so much fun being a WWE fan again.
And this was, like, I'd still prefer this show to, like, the shows that we were getting before the recent resurgence in quality, because I felt like before this last month period, it was just so scattergun. Matches didn't mean anything. They'd have weird structures to the shows. Everyone was stuck in their own little feud. It was very repetitive. But it was still, like, fundamentally, like, just how they played out the episode, it made more sense. It had a higher level of coherence than WWE has done for years. Unfortunately, they made booking decisions I very much disagree with here.
Yeah, totally. Particularly around Kevin Owens. Like, I think the Roman Reigns one, you can say, that was a bit dumb. And, yeah, that's not a great way to end the show. It's not a cliffhanger. It's driving off a cliff.
Yes.
But it's it's just dumb. But I would say the Kevin Owens thing is actually harmful. And that's where I kind of really took issue with it.
Yeah, stick around to the end of the show because we'll be talking about the Roman Reigns cliffhanger reveal. That totally didn't work.
Oh, no, it didn't.
But we'll kick off with Kevin Owens and how they took his character today.
Yeah.
And this, to me, really smacks of Becky Lynch apologizing to Triple H and Stephanie McMahon.
That's the exact same comparison I gave it in my SmackDown review. I was like, what is it with this company and having their stone cold like baby faces who are on fire apologizing to McMahon's?
So, brief recap of Owens so far. Last 6 weeks or so, he has been the anti-authority figure on SmackDown, cutting work shoot promos on how Shane is holding everyone down. It builds and climaxes, really, at SummerSlam, where he doesn't just beat Shane, he sort of beats Elias as well.
So I don't know why this feud is still continuing at this point.
And then last week he was, still badass and Shane was kind of toying with him. This week, Shane fined him $1,000. $100,000.
Which no one reacted to because no one cares about that sort of thing.
And Owen started to play up, but how will I provide to my family?
Which no one cares about.
Which no one cares about either. The same stuff that Kofi was doing. And they've moved that to caring about Xavier Woods and the New Day, which is a much better idea. But no, they had that last week. And this episode had the first interaction between them was Kevin Owens going up to Shane backstage and just saying, I want to talk man to man, father to father. Like, don't find me.
$100,000 might not mean anything to you, but I was at home and I was looking at my kids and I thought, I can't provide for my kids if you're taking this sort of money away from me. And I'm like, this isn't the Kevin Owens that we want to see, right?
Yeah, and it just makes the whole promotion look rinky-dink.
Yeah, why aren't you paying your people properly?
I know. Yeah,
You're a global, worldwide touring company. Pay your wrestlers to wrestle.
It just comes off as false.
Yeah.
Like, how am I supposed to believe that Kevin Owens, this guy who was the Universal Champion a couple of years ago, hasn't got enough money?
No, he's wrestled at loads of WrestleManias.
I don't want to be thinking about that.
No.
I want to be like getting invested in the feuds and the more human elements of it.
They're supposed to be larger than life characters. You're supposed to go to these shows to be like, oh my god, these sort of mythical creatures. It's what Ric Flair was always doing, but it doesn't really work the other way round.
Yeah. So they like Shane said, I'll think about it. And then the main event of the show was the King of the Ring first round match between Elias and Kevin Owens. And before that main event, we had Shane again backstage with KO. And Shane said, look, I've thought about it. If you put your hands on a referee again, then I'll have to fire you. But for now, I'll make do with an apology. And Kevin Owens apologizes to Shane McMahon.
And then holds his hand out for a handshake. And Shane is the one who declines it and says, we're not there yet.
So when that happened, I thought, okay, well, that's awful in the moment, but it must play into an angle later on. We've got the main event coming up. Shane's going to come down. Kevin Owens is going to be smarter than the heels, and he's going to have some form of comeuppance, a revenge plan, and he hasn't really apologized.
He had his fingers crossed. He didn't really mean it.
Exactly. And I'm watching this, quite frankly, boring Kevin Owens Elias main event.
It was a boring match.
Yeah, and that's saying something for an Owens match. Like, Elias has never been the most engaging in-ring worker. There was a moment when he turned babyface where I was quite getting into him because he was the one being worked over as opposed to him boringly working over other people.
Yeah. There's a reason why people didn't really get into Elias in NXT. It's because NXT is a place where you go and have great matches, and Elias was not doing that.
And yeah, like they have this boring match. Shane McMahon comes down at one point. That was sort of the going into ad break cliffhanger that Shane's music had hit. And he played into the finish where he revealed he had a referee's shirt on. Kevin Owens couldn't possibly touch him because that would mean he'd lose his job. And Elias gives him a schoolboy. Shane does a fast count.
A fast count, which is the second fast count, I believe, for Owens in 2 weeks. So Elias fast counted him last week.
Yeah. And that was it. There was no large plan. There was no master strategy behind Owens.
No.
He just sat there looking a bit dejected
was like,
and furious.
I got fooled by, I thought Shane was on the level. Why would you think that Shane is on the level? I don't understand why you would have had, like, this character, today's episode, or yesterday's episode rather, didn't work for the Kevin Owens character. Kevin Owens shouldn't be trusting Shane McMahon.
No.
Kevin Owens shouldn't be apologizing to Shane McMahon and then holding out his hand for a handshake and trusting that Shane will do the right thing. Because Kevin Owens, his entire WWE run on SmackDown has been, I don't trust Shane. When he was a heel and Shane was a babyface, I don't trust Shane. Now the roles are reversed. He doesn't trust him even more and hates him even more. So why is he now going like, yeah, you're right, man. I am sorry. I shouldn't have put my hands on an official. Can we be friends now? That makes no sense for the Kevin Owens character.
And it's not engaging.
No.
Like, you can make that work if you are the right kind of performer. Like, you're more of a blue-eyed babyface, I guess. But Kevin Owens' whole shtick has been fight Owens, fight.
Anti-authority.
Anti-authority. I'll get kicked out of shows if need be. I'll put my career on the line to make sure you quit.
Yeah, exactly. I'll put because I want to have a match with you and I want to beat you up and prove that you are not the best in the world.
So to go from that, standing on the announcer's desk, cutting these really well-worked shoot promos, which was one of the things that got the Buddy Murphy momentum going, really. He was like, Buddy Murphy hasn't been on SmackDown since he came over. To go from that to, now I'm suddenly concerned about this $100,000 fine and my position with the company when you were willing to throw it away before SummerSlam.
I was going to say, you put your career on the line. How are you going to provide your kids then?
You told the story back to front.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you start off as this person who's worried about their job, but then you break through that and you're like, no, you've turned me into this dangerous backed against the wall animal.
Well, that's what I thought about the Randy Orton Kofi storylines. It feels like we've been doing that storyline in reverse as well.
And you can do bad booking sometimes, and it's just like, that's a shame. That was a little bit of bad booking. Like the Roman Bryan thing, which we'll talk about later. It just looked goofy. But this is that I want to call them suffering succotash moments.
Yes, that's exactly it.
It's when you do an angle or a sort of character turn that really derails. It seems like a minor thing at first, but it really derails that character in the long run. And if it's not course corrected immediately, like the next week, you're done for, really. That's what happened to Becky Lynch when she apologized to the Authority with no... she didn't get any shine off of that. It was just, Authority, I'm sorry. And then the Authority Thanos'd away.
Yeah, and then she got suspended by Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And I was going to bring the Becky Lynch thing up because a few people, and I don't say a few, it was actually quite a lot of people, said that you were doomsaying when you said that this Becky Lynch moment could be a disastrous moment for her character. And that moment completely derailed all the momentum that she had, building all that good stuff they were doing from Survivor Series, from SummerSlam through to Survivor Series, in fact, even when it was really muddled with the quote-unquote heel turn that she did. All that stuff from SummerSlam into Survivor Series, when she was then at the peak of Survivor Series, all fell down once she apologized to the McMahons. And then that was it. And I don't think she's ever really recovered from that, because what that led to then was a terrible WrestleMania finish, and then a terrible feud with Lacey Evans, and then you were Seth Rollins' girlfriend, and she's lost all momentum that she had from there, and it all stems from apologizing to the McMahons.
Yeah. So hopefully WWE will realize their error. I don't think they will, though, because they're so infatuated with this family man, beaten down character that they're awkwardly forcing Owens into that square hole.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Vince clearly loves this new story.
Also, they changed his t-shirt.
To stun Owens stun. Yeah, I'm not sure if he had that one last week.
What was wrong with Fight Owens Fight? It's just, it's not terrible, but it's not as good. Why would you make it not as good?
My favourite thing about Kevin Owens when he debuted was that one of his big gripes that he had against John Cena was that John Cena had loads of T-shirts. And then Kevin Owens had about 30 T-shirts in his first year up on the main roster. Like, Kevin, mate, hey, man, you should practice what you preach, dude.
Well, it's like, you say that when you're in developmental, but then you get up there and you see those merch checks.
Or you're like, oh, hello.
Oh, actually, I've got some morals, but I've also got others.
Yeah.
So let's see what you guys thought in the super chats if Pete's mic is working.
Let's give this a go. It seems to be working now.
Hey,
Yay!
well fixed.
I brought out the super chats just in case, Pete.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you can do them, mate.
So, let's start with...
Happy birthday, by the way.
It's definitely still not my birthday, but I'm still wearing the crown. Wilson Simons says, Spider-Man leaves the MCU. Spider-Man to AEW confirmed.
Oh, why didn't we make that joke? Head over to Screen Stalker, by the way, at the end of this video, because me and Laurie go deep into all the Spider-Man stuff. It's not as clear-cut as it looks. And there's one conspiracy theory, thanks to this guy here.
Hello.
That Disney might have leaked those negotiations.
I think it's certainly possible.
Top Deck Land said, did you see that Rhonda almost lost her finger?
God, yeah, I did. Gorilla Position posted up this picture. It was from the set of 911. It's the new show that she's doing for Fox. And, I think she was on a boat, and the door of it just closed, and essentially just, nearly chopped her whole finger off. And it looked, I'll find the picture for you now so you can react to it live on air. That's all right, I'm already doing it.
Okay.
I believe Rhonda also posted it on her Instagram.
She did indeed. I think that's probably where Gorilla Position stole it from.
The gram.
Snake Lord Gaming, in the meantime, says, I loved the ending. Also, good work in getting better, Tomo. Keep up the good work from Australia. Another Aussie. When are you coming here? Haha, smiley face.
Okay, well, I'm going to look at the image now, because Luke's got it up. Oh, no! Oh, jeez. Oh, she looks so sad. Oh, no. Oh, it looks like there's just the screen's cracked, and yeah, ooh, ow. Yeah, that's a nasty finger break there. So, probably not down to Australia anytime soon. Love that you are wishing Tomo well, though. What was the other part of that question?
It was just keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I love the ending of SmackDown.
Oh,
also.
yes. Well, we'll come on to that.
Someone's got
I
to.
also loved it in a totally goofy way.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Williams says, is anyone sick of these storylines yet?
Depends on which one you're talking about.
Only today.
Yeah, only today. And that's why I was not a fan of this episode, because it took the two hottest storylines in WWE, in Roman Reigns, attacker, and Kevin Owens as the big hot Stone Cold babyface, and turned them into jokes and idiots. Yeah.
Ronce Regen says, so I'll admit I was wrong about Murphy being buried, but how does Bryan manage to lose at the rate he does and still make it feel like a big deal?
Because he's Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like when he was losing all the time to Mustafa Ali last year as well in those tag matches.
He's got a presence about him.
Yeah.
Also, I think that Bryan is at a level like John Cena, I suppose. John Cena could lose 25 matches in a row, but still would feel like Big Match John.
The Adnap2 says, are you guys going to the Rev Pro the night before Royal Quest? I'll be at both shows.
We haven't got tickets. I don't think we will because it's a busy weekend that weekend for us.
It was funny. When they announced the main event was Tanahashi and Okada versus Suzuki Gun, I showed you on Twitter and you were like, we'll see them next night.
Yeah. We'll see you at Royal Quest, though.
Yes, we will do.
Bucky the Ace Ventura says, do you think WWE have a star with Murphy yet?
I mean, they had a star with him from day one, really. But it's just that they took, 4 months to work that out. And even then, it was an accident by all accounts. I'm just glad. It's the happiest accident of 2019.
Giant 420 Ginger says, who could win King of the Ring and refuse to wear the crown and scepter?
Drew.
Yeah, Drew wouldn't have any of that nonsense. I feel like if Ricochet wins, he's going to be running over to that crown right away.
Love it. Absolutely. So
Filthy
with Andrade
mark.
as well. Andrade would wear it as the big sort of king coronation thing. Drew, I think, is one of those people that were just like, no, I'm not doing the scepter nonsense.
Owens could have snapped it. I mean, really, if you look at this year, and if you're trying to make Owens the new Stone Cold, like, why don't you just have him win and then cut an awesome promo at the end and trash the throne?
Because you need to get Shane heat.
Vengeful One says, Ollie and Luke, do you think WWE is going to have a draft for all 3 brands before SmackDown goes to Fox and NXT live on the USA Network?
Probably not all 3 brands.
No, I think they'll keep everything as it is, but, more distinct separations between brands.
Yeah.
And finally, for now, before we get on with the rest of the show, Tim Arndt says, when I saw who Roman's attacker was, my greatest fear was confirmed. Vince Russo's been rehired.
I mean, I did make the joke that they've taken a really hot babyface and made him look like a complete moron. So, yeah, Eric Bischoff is right in this show, it turns out.
Yeah. Right, so the actual show began with Randy Orton coming out, the most venomous star in all of WWE.
Isn't he just?
Todd Phillips said. And it's not just Todd Phillips on commentary, not just Byron Saxton, but instead of Corey Graves, it's David Otunga.
He's still there, folks.
Yeah.
Still employed.
For pre-shows and holiday cover.
Holiday cover.
Isn't that where Corey is? He's on holiday with Carmella.
That's why Carmella's not been around for the 24/7 stuff. But yeah,
it's like those sort of rumors were true.
I thought they were confirmed anyway.
I didn't really cover that story. It felt a bit salacious, even for me.
Yeah. That means it's going to be really salacious.
Yeah.
If even Ollie Davis won't touch it. But yeah, I thought David Otunga was there.
I forgot.
Yeah, no,
I forgot he was there.
pretty much. He is. He's the Beth Phoenix of SmackDown Live.
But Randy came down and he cuts an in-ring promo, just re-energized. Compare this to when he started cutting promos on Kofi live in the ring, where it was, like some of them were good, but a lot of them were Randy, I'm bored-ton.
Yes.
This one, he was yelling, he ad-libbed a line to tell the audience to shut up.
Shut up, I'm talking.
Yeah, and he was like, Kofi, stupid. And he kept on running through all the ways Kofi was stupid.
Yeah.
I thought it was terrific.
We broke Xavier Woods' leg because he's stupid.
Yeah. He ran away in front of his family. Stupid. Really, really enjoyed his performance here. And then New Day's music hit, which is Kofi's music. Randy is looking up at the entranceway, and it was too long.
Yeah.
You can see it coming, and it made me think, oh, Orton, you're stupid now.
Yeah.
And he turned right round into a Kofi Trouble in Paradise. And then Kofi sort of snapped, went to get a chair, to beat him down.
Yeah, he was going to Pillmanize Randy's leg, which I thought was really cool because that's a nice bit of symmetry to what they did to Xavier Woods' leg on Raw. But then the Revival run down. But they don't beat Kofi up because Kofi's the WWE champion, so he just starts waylaying them with the chairs, knocks them out the ring. And I particularly liked Randy Orton because Randy Orton ran away from the fight.
Yes. That's a nice touch,
little hypocritical thing there from like the promo that he was cutting. Because you've got then Kofi standing in the ring screaming, and you've got Randy Orton scampering his way up the ramp. And that's Randy Orton, a guy who likes to kind of protect himself and try to like always put over this sort of superstar aura. But he really sold Kofi's attack. I thought it was really good work from all of them.
Yeah, it's nice to see Randy caring again.
Yeah.
Like, because when he cares, he is really, really good. So that was good.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought this was a very good opening segment.
Also, also, it was 6 minutes.
Yeah, sharp.
This whole opening segment was six minutes. In the old days, that's 15, 20.
Yeah.
That one. But, all of that, the angle on Raw was infinitely better. Like, this was good.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But as a SmackDown feud, I kind of want to see the big SmackDown feud angles on SmackDown. Call me crazy.
No, I think you're right. I mean, granted, Raw does have the bigger audience, so you could almost argue that it's a good advertisement for SmackDown, but then you tune into SmackDown and you get the lesser version of the angle.
Yeah. Then we got a Reigns recap. We've had about 20 of these.
Just to catch you up with the story and all of its developments. We also got a recap of NXT going to the USA Network when they show where they show like web pages saying, here is the news that it's going to the network. It's going to the USA Network. This really does feel that they were going to do a big announcement on Raw. They got annoyed that the news leaked out early.
Yeah.
And then just decided not to do it, and we'll just do it as an announcement instead on social media.
Which was so weird.
Yeah.
Because this is a huge deal.
It should be.
I think because I've also been swept up in the, man, they're just doing it to screw with AEW. Oh, no, it's going to go 2 hours. Oh, no, Vince McMahon will probably eventually start to tinker with it and water it down. But really, because we watched NXT take over Brooklyn for WrestleRamble Extra, available for Patreons exclusively now, this is a big deal, and I love NXT, and it's going to get all this mainstream exposure.
It should feel more exciting than it currently is.
Yeah.
And I feel like I should be like 2015, the time we talked about we're reviewing Brooklyn, such the biggest mark for NXT, just wanted them to be the biggest thing in WWE. And now they're on sort of the precipice of that. But I just feel like it's been done for it's NXT UK. It's just been done for purely cynical reasons. And that makes me like it a little bit less, which I know is wrong, and I shouldn't be really thinking about it that way, but it sort of does. And then I think the fact that they didn't do the big announcement, they just announced it on social media and then didn't really make a big deal of it on SmackDown either, that it makes me think that they don't really care about it either. They've just done this for purely cynical reasons, and they're not ashamed to admit that.
It was a graphic of just reactions of various wrestlers on social media.
Yeah, so they did two. Yeah, so they had one that was at the start of the show, which was, here's CBS Sports saying it, and then later it was just like, here's NXT superstars, but you don't really get to see it because it's more importantly what Triple H has to say about it.
Yeah, it's bizarre. This should be a huge announcement, especially because this is SmackDown's currently on USA. This is the show that's going to be moving to Fox. Why don't you... You want to start properly promoting NXT from the get-go.
They did more promotion for Miz and Mrs. and Stone Cold's new show.
Totally. Yeah, totally bizarre. Then we got the Kevin Owens and Shane segment backstage we've already talked about. Then we got our third of the week, King of the Ring first round match.
Yep.
Andrade versus Apollo Crews.
It's all right.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah, good stuff. Crews got some moves in. It didn't look weak coming out of it. Vega interfered. Andrade won.
That was pretty much it, yeah. Like, compared to that, they started so hot with Cesaro, Sami Zayn. Sorry, Cesaro. You did that yesterday. Cesaro, Samoa Joe. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's going to be a work rate tournament.
Yeah.
But then all the other matches have just been either quick, underwhelming, or boring.
Oh, yeah. And do you know what? Since you mentioned it yesterday, I've noticed it more and more now. In fact, I've noticed it so much on this show. You start off with a big move. You start off with one of them running at the other and hitting a big move, because Apollo did it here. And then the next match we got, when it was Bryan and Murphy, they also did it. And I'm like, man, Davis has completely on the money here. This is how we now start WWE matches.
It's a really fun way to start matches. I would just say, just once a week.
Yeah, don't do it for every match.
There were a few nice spots in here. Andrade hit a Hurricane Rana off the apron onto Apollo into the steel steps. It was a really nice lung buster on Andrade.
That was cool,
Apollo
yeah.
did a kip up. Apollo looked good here.
Yeah. And he was on top of the match. He just couldn't hit the Gorilla Press Slam because Andrade had worked over the arm earlier in the match, so he couldn't quite lift him up. And then Vega tripped him. I'd quite like to see Andrade just win clean once in a while.
I don't mind.
It just
that.
feels like Vega's always interfering for him. And again, I think it's fine. But when you do it for every match, it then becomes predictable, and that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Todd Phillips also said at the start of this match, every superstar wants to win the cape and the crown.
Yeah, so we are now definitely deciding this is nothing to do with title shots. It's just about winning the scepter. I warned you.
Now, here's the start of the night's biggest storyline, arguably the most significant storyline in WWE, the top one, where Rowan and Daniel Bryan sit someone in an interrogation room backstage in a small, very small cupboard-like room with a black blanket over their face.
As soon as they brought him in, I was like, oh, this is going to be rubbish, isn't it? Like, it's almost instantaneous. You're like, oh, no, this is going to be rubbish because, well, he's under a cloak. And there's that famous Pritchard thing that he always says, if it comes under a cloak or it's inside an egg, it's going to be rubbish.
Yeah. It's just, when it happened, I was like, okay, well, but where are they going to go with this? But I'm so optimistic based on all the stuff WWE have done recently. I was like, well, maybe it could be good.
Mate, that is blind optimism right there, because if you're thinking in a kayfabe world, why is this wrestler, because you're going to presume it's a wrestler, just happily staying under a cloak and just sitting in this room and doing nothing?
Because he's scared?
What?
Rowan?
He tried to run Roman Reigns over. What's he possibly scared of?
Legal action? Then we get Elias walking along backstage, and I like what they're doing here, especially because the 24/7 isn't as obnoxious as it started off as. It's kind of a bit more low-key now. Elias is walking along backstage, strumming his guitar, and he sees a guy in a hoodie, and he's like, wait a second, come on. And it's John Cone, the referee.
Nicholas's dad.
Yeah, Nicholas's dad. And he says, come on, where are they? And Drake Maverick was hiding in a production crate.
Yeah, and then so he grabs him, pulls him out, starts choking him. And I like the fact that when he opened up, Drake still went, surprise!
Yeah.
As if he was going to get him. And Elias starts choking him and hands him a piece of paper to read. Like this, I felt like it was a little ad-lib from Spud when he was like, do you mind?
Yeah.
So
I can't speak.
Do you mind? And so Elias let him go a little bit. And he said that the 24/7 title rule has been suspended by the best in the world, Shane McMahon, for this evening. So Elias can focus on his King of the Ring match.
Exposition. Oh, there's not one to stay up today.
Entirely your sex tape.
Yeah. Then we got a moment of bliss with Charlotte. And look there, Luke. What's my first note?
Dear God, this segment is gonna suck.
And it succeeded.
It certainly did. It met your expectations.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, at least I knew what it was going to be. I didn't come out going, they really wasted that segment. So Alexa Bliss comes out and introduces Nikki Cross, and she's like, look at us. We are the women's tag team champions.
No one cares.
Silence.
Crickets, mate. Absolute crickets.
And then Bliss seemed to be setting it up as though they were baby faces. So she started to say, look, a moment of bliss is about giving people something who are less fortunate than themselves, yada, yada, yada. And I thought this was like all a way to neg Charlotte. But then she says, but our next guest is a little bit different. So what's the point of the first 30 seconds of your intro then?
And then this segment turned into ba, 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 ba. Ba 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 ba, my era. And it was just awful, wooden, stilted, pants dialogue with all those same adjectives, but with performances. This was so poorly done. It was. I couldn't wait for Bayley to come out and interrupt it. I was like, please save this segment.
I think Charlotte's a very, very good
She's
promo.
a great promo.
Her delivery was good, but
I thought it was quite wooden.
The content is garbage.
But I don't think it's her fault because she is a very, very good promo, but she's been given some of the most garbage verbiage at the moment, where she's just speaking like she doesn't speak like a human.
Garbage verbiage.
Garbage verbiage.
The Human Torch
Was denied a bank loan.
It's like she's very good at off the cuff stuff as well.
Yeah.
She's good at improvising around bullet points.
Trish Stratus was great in her era, but I am the queen of all eras. I am marketable. I go to red carpets.
Alexa continued this saying, some people would say Bayley is the face of SmackDown. I wouldn't.
Who's saying that? Who on earth is saying that at the moment?
Yeah, but Alexa says, I wouldn't though. And Alexa was a heel here, like you said. And it's not like, oh, you're working me. Good heel work, Bliss. It's like, no, you're a terrible character.
Oh, she's awful.
You're an inconsistent pants portrayal of what you are, and you are so good. What you were doing before did not need to be fixed. I don't know why you're now this flip-flopping morale.
This all started to fall downhill after the topless incident.
Yes, it was start of this
That
year.
was the real start of this downturn of just awful Alexa Bliss segments and bad matches and just boring storylines and terrible, terrible, terrible segments. A Moment of Bliss is among the worst offenders. It's been categorically awful from pretty much every single time they've done it. And she's just, I find her an unwatchable presence at the moment because they don't know if she's a babyface or if she's a heel. They seem to think she's both and she's doing it well. She's doing neither and doing it poorly.
Yeah, and she's like sort of drawn Nikki Cross into this vortex too, which just raises way more questions. I still don't buy into their relationship.
Absolutely not. But at the start of it, we weren't supposed to. Because it was supposed to be she was manipulating her or Nikki Cross was using her or something. But now they're just friends.
Yeah. And to make things even worse, they haven't just got their little stupid gimmicky coffee cups now. They've got flasks with tiny women's championship belts.
Yeah.
It irks me. I know you could say, well, that's the point. They're heels. I'm like, well, it was go away heat for me.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't want to see them.
And you say they're heels. They were baby faces on Monday, and they could have been drinking out the coffee cups then.
Charlotte says, no, I'm the face of SmackDown. And then Bayley came out.
I do like the fact she said Bayley is an afterthought. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much true.
She showed a bit more fire than usual, Bayley. They set up a match at Clash of Champions.
Joy.
And Bayley pushed Charlotte off her high chair.
You've got Asuka and Kairi Sane literally doing nothing. And you could have had... Granted, Charlotte Flair is the most over person they have. But that's because you've only pushed her. And you've got an incredibly stacked women's roster. This show, again, no women's wrestling on this show. This was the only women's segment on the whole thing. And you made the excellent point, I think it was a few weeks ago, maybe it was a couple of months ago, ever since Ronda Rousey left, this company has stopped caring about the women's wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's just, the women's evolution was PR nonsense for investors and because everyone else was doing it. So they thought, oh, Christ, we should probably do it as well then.
And you could tie it to Ronda, and you can get a very lucrative Fox deal out of it.
We haven't got Evolution 2 this year because they don't care. Absolutely don't care. And we had one women's match this week, and no one cared about it because it was treated as an afterthought.
And they've got a long-running deal with Saudi Arabia.
Well, there's quite that as well, yeah. And so, yeah, we're getting Bayley versus Charlotte at Clash of Champions. There are 10 women on the roster I would have chosen over Charlotte. Again, I'm not into this at all.
Reigns and Buddy Murphy are in a locker room next, and this was good. I like this a lot. Buddy said that he only thinks he saw Rowan, was under a lot of stress and whatever, and Roman just says, don't lie again or I'll whip your ass.
I think it's Buddy. I think they are going to reveal that it's Buddy is the attacker. And Buddy has been leading them down the garden path saying like, oh no, I saw Rowan do it. Oh no, I didn't see Rowan do it. I think I might have seen Rowan do it.
No.
I think Buddy just did it, mate.
We'll come on to it later. But then we got Buddy Murphy versus Daniel Bryan, which was really, really good.
Yeah, really good. Not sure. I think I enjoyed the Roman match more.
Yeah.
But this was really, really good television.
I enjoyed McIntyre Alexander more last week, and then Reigns Murphy, and then this.
Yeah, but Daniel Bryan did such a good job of making Buddy Murphy look awesome. And crucially for me, and this was my favorite thing about this, Buddy Murphy didn't get a shock roll-up win and then look surprised that he won. No, he convincingly hit his move and he won, and then celebrated that he won.
Yeah.
It made him look like so much more of a star than when Ali rolled up Nakamura a couple of weeks ago. I was like, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah. There was some really good spots in here too. Bryan sort of transitioned from a crossface to a Rings of Saturn. There was a top rope German suplex.
Like a high
belly
angle
to back.
suplex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy heckins.
Like, they were setting that up, and I was like, okay, so Murphy backflips
Yeah,
out.
that's what I thought. And then it was like, no, he came crashing down like a ton of bricks.
I could almost hear Bryan go, F you concussions, as he fell backwards. It was insane.
I'm also very happy to note as well, I just sort of looked over to your notes and you wrote down Cheeky Nando's. That fills me with so much joy that you wrote down Cheeky Nando's.
Yeah, Buddy hit a cheeky Nando's and then got a really cool powerbomb for a near fall too.
Yeah.
The commentators did a very good job, again, of saying Buddy Murphy is really someone to watch. And he's, taking these top guys to their limit.
Do you know what? I'm completely with Dave Meltzer on Buddy Murphy at the moment. Meltzer got a bit of flack last week because some people took what he said out of context, where he said that Buddy Murphy's just copying the top stars in New Japan. Everyone was like, give him some credit. He's like, no, I'm saying that's a good thing.
Yeah.
He's copying all the best moves from all the best wrestlers and now looks like the best wrestler on the planet. That's a good thing. Like, that's a really smart move.
So the finish was Bryan got the foot on the ropes after a brainbuster from Murphy, which looked cool. Rowan gets on the apron and he's pointing that out. Like, he got the foot on the ropes. And then Buddy takes out Rowan.
Yeah, super kicks him.
Mm-hmm. And then there's like a bit of miscommunication within the confines of the match. Bryan nearly collides with Rowan. But then he gets a move, a roll-up on Murphy. Murphy kicks out of that. And then Murphy's Law for the win.
Yeah,
So
trigger into a Murphy's Law. It was great.
Yeah, so it was like you had a bit of a distraction and you could go, Bryan lost because of that. But it wasn't immediately off the distraction. It made Buddy look terrific in victory.
Absolutely, yeah.
And as the Super Chatter said earlier, somehow Bryan does not lose anything.
No, this was great.
Both guys look better than they did before. That's what you can ask for.
Thumbs up.
Interrogation guy, still in the back room.
I've called him Cloaked Man.
Cloaked man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked how they keep cutting back. It's a good way to build the suspense, ratchet up the tension,
Just
to then
gearing
face
you,
plant.
Yeah, gearing you up for that disappointment.
After this match, almost immediately, Kayla Braxton introduces Murphy as her backstage guest, but Bryan and Rowan are right on him and start beating him all around the backstage area.
Yeah, hit the iron claw onto some crates. The referees then pulled them away. I'm like, where's Roman Reigns? Where's Roman in all of this?
Yeah, he's
just chilling out being the big dog.
Yeah, playing video games.
Having a big hot dog.
Then we got the Revival coming down, selling
Oh, what dorks. Absolute marks.
selling Kofi's beat down with a chair from earlier. And Dawson cuts a promo on the crowd. He's such a good promo, Scott
He's great. It's
Dawson.
like, he goes, I don't know why you fans cheered us getting beaten up earlier.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
And they call the crowd cowards, just like the New Day. And then they officially challenge the New Day at Cock, which is Clash of Champions, abbreviated, to revitalize the tag division. That's their whole purpose at the moment, it seems. Or it always has been, hasn't it?
Yeah, and also I think that they can run with the story that officially New Day have never beaten them. They've never pinned them or submitted them.
And that's a good story. That's great substance for
Yeah.
both teams to sink their teeth into.
I'd really, really like as well if they get to Clash of Champions, because I want them to really sell this Woods leg injury. That Big E just has to go it alone. And you do essentially a handicap match, but it's, tag team rules. And if the Revival win, then Big E doesn't really lose anything because he lost it on his own. And it's just more heel heat for the Revival.
Let's be honest, though. Revival to AEW.
Confirmed.
Big E's just going to beat them both.
Yeah, possibly.
Then we got Heavy Machinery's music hitting. I forgot they existed.
It's so funny because when Revival came out and they said it was going to be a match, but didn't say who it was against. And I was racking my brain, being like, who are they going to have a match against? Because it can't be the New Day. It can't be Kofi. Who is it? And then Heavy Machinery was like, oh, yeah, of course, it's Heavy Machinery.
It's like we are in season 3 of WWE this year, and these were season 2 guys.
Yeah, they were season 0 guys. They were announced in December last year.
Yeah, good point. But like Lacey Evans as well, Baron Corbin,
EC3.
Yet they are all season 2 guys.
Yeah.
So it was weird to see them, but I love them. I think absence in this case has made my heart growth fonder.
Yeah.
I was really excited to see them because they're so much fun to watch.
They are. They love to have fun.
I didn't say that. But they've got so many good power spots between them.
I love the bear hug.
Yes!
And then Otis stands there, almost like counts them down, and then they just chuck him across the next one, and then they bear hug them as well. It's great. Big dueling, stalling suplex. The caterpillar's great. A lot of fun stuff with Heavy Machinery.
Yeah, and the finish was actually really nice. There was a bit of a bundle, I would say, near the corner, and who was it? It was Wilder dived over the other 2 guys on the floor to roll up Tucker to win.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Chad Gable is backstage talking to Kayla. Kayla's saying, "Why are you so short?" And Chad's like, "I've always been short, but I've always
the
overcome
underdog.
it. I'm going to prove myself in the King of the Ring tournament. Height doesn't matter." But then who's that in the background?
Well, this is going to be what I was going to say. I really didn't take in a lot of what Chad Gable said. I was like, okay, cool, he's talking about being an underdog. So I got the gist of it. But I didn't really listen to anything else because you're watching Shelton Benjamin in the back doing his little sneaky gimmick that he's doing. And then he sticks something up on the door. So you're then sort of straining your eyes and like, what is it? I'm not listening to Chad at all. I'm just straining my eyes. Then Chad walks up to the door and it's a sign that says, "You must be this tall to enter the King of the Ring." Shorty G appears to be the direction we're heading. Although someone did say, what if it's one of the new names for Street Profits? I was like, that's actually worse.
Yeah. This felt like the old WWE. This felt like pre-Extreme Rules WWE for me. The Chad is a great deliverer of promos, though. I thought the content was rubbish, but his delivery was very good, especially when he just looked at that sign and went, "Funny." Yeah, I thought that was a very good delivery.
Yeah.
But everything else was a bit wank.
Yeah, a brilliant way to describe it.
Another shot of Blanket Guy.
Cloaked man.
Oh, what's going to happen? What's the big reveal going to be? But first, Miz TV. That's where we got the second NXT tweet wall announcement.
Yep. And we got Miz TV, and I thought, God, do we really need 2 talking segments on this show? But it was a segment with Sami Zayn, where Sami came out and said, "I don't really care about Miz or Miz TV, but I had to arrange this segment because it's the only way I can get TV time." That's a fun little reason to have him on the show. Pointed out that he's lost a lot, and he's going to use this lack of momentum to become a manager. And he talks about there's another guy who has got no momentum on the SmackDown roster, and it's this man. It's the Intercontinental Champion. And Sami Zayn is now the manager of Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah.
What an odd pairing.
Yes. So, I mean, it's quite obvious what's happened here.
He's the male page.
Yes. He's male page. He's a page boy.
He's the page boy.
He's Shinsuke Nakamura's page boy.
Yeah.
Because despite some of Nakamura's verbal promo work, when he turned heel last year, don't speak English. Great stuff. He was so hot when he turned heel like that. They think he needs a mouthpiece because that's what's holding him back. Not the fact that you just aren't booking him in anything.
No, that's exactly it.
And it's unfortunate because if they were both booked really strongly and Nakamura still got... This isn't a bad pairing. In fact, it's actually 2 very, very good wrestlers who, interestingly, had that NXT match on that WrestleMania weekend, which was, of course, never brought up because NXT is not in continuity. But that would add a nice bit of substance.
I think Sami did say something about it, but it wasn't like we had this great match. Todd Phillips might have also said something about it.
Well, should have been more.
As a throwaway.
And you put these 2 together, they actually played off each other really well, I thought. Like, especially their facials, how Sami Zayn was like, yeah, you can give him a Kinshasa now, and Nakamura was gurning it up. And the idea of Nakamura saying, no, don't talk to me, talk to my manager, he's my mouthpiece. That's good stuff. But, let's be honest, it's coming from a very cynical place of WWE don't think non-native English speakers can get over in their company. And that's their fault for not booking them that way.
It's WWE have got this mentality that you can't be in this company if you can't cut a promo. We can't tell a story if you can't cut a promo. It's like, there are so many ways to do it. Countless amounts of ways to do it. But you've only got one way. And the one way you've got is we cut promos. So if you can't speak English as your first language, then we just got to put you with a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the American audience won't understand you. What they're essentially saying is, I can't understand you. I can't buy into your stories.
There are so many wrestlers that could benefit greatly from having managers. Nakamura's not one of them.
Natalia is one of them.
Yeah. So why don't you put Zayn with someone else who needs?
Well, okay, question here. Why are you taking someone
that as well.
with the in-ring talent of Sami Zayn, one of the best wrestlers in the company, and be like, well, he's a manager? What? How do you come to that decision? He's not injured. He's not retired. How is he now a manager? How has this happened?
Yeah. They beat up The Miz. They'll be good together. I'm sure we'll get a lot of good chemistry because they're both fantastic. But this sucks.
This does suck. And now it seems to be we're setting up Shinsuke Nakamura versus The Miz at Clash of Champions. Whoop-de-bloody-do, I guess. Poor Prince Ali setting up his Intercontinental title feud a few weeks ago that's just been dropped completely and fallen off the face of the planet. Poor Prince Ali.
Yeah. Bryan and Rowan sit down with the Masked Attacker again. Then we get that awful Kevin Owens, Elias bit with the Shane backstage stuff too.
One other thing to mention from that Elias-Kevin Owens match is that David Otunga did say that we should respect Shane because he is the authority figure on SmackDown. And he called him the commissioner of SmackDown. I was like, but David, I thought we were the authority now.
He wasn't around. he only does pre-shows.
He doesn't know.
But here we are, folks. It's the big reveal of Blanket Man. Or what were you calling him?
What did I call him?
Hoodface. The Hood.
Cloaked Man.
Daniel Bryan, this is all one shot. We have a minute left of the show.
They cut from that Elias-Kevin Owens match so quickly. We barely got an announcement of a finish. They were like, oh my God, we're running out of time. We need to cut to the back now.
They go backstage to this tiny room where Blanket Man has been all this time. One camera, and Rowan is sitting down directly facing Blanket Man, looking at him. Bryan is standing off to his right. Roman Reigns enters the room. It's already weird.
Oh, yeah.
It's a stupid dynamic. None of them feel like they're... I mean, Bryan's doing a great job because he can turn anything to gold, it seems. But Reigns, at the moment, you know, get a few more acting lessons and stuff before you start to transition to Hollywood, like you said.
I bet we had a lot of lines originally in Hobson Shaw until they got to the end and they were like, actually.
Yeah, I think that's more your groove. And Bryan says he won't have Rowan called a liar anymore because the man that attacked Roman is. And he pulls the blanket away. And it's also Rowan. It's
a guy with a long ginger beard.
You know what's better? Okay, so there's many. This is awful. This was stupid. It sucked. However, it was brilliant at the same time. It was very, very funny. That's not what they were going for.
No, and you can hear people laughing, and it wasn't just us.
When they unveil that it's also this older guy who's obviously dyed his big beard ginger because you can see his sideburns are a totally different color to his beard.
Yeah.
You just hear someone in the crowd go,
and this is how they chose to end the show. They thought this is the big cliffhanger that will make you want to watch next week. This was quite the segment.
I want to describe it more. So Rowan and this random guy who looks like Rowan are staring at each other, and after Bryan unveils that, and then there's 30 seconds more of this segment, which is just filled up with both of them going,
and Roman standing on the side, because then they pan up to Roman, who's just not reacting to this whatsoever. he has not got any form of facial expression. He's just watching these two bald ginger men heavily breathing, staring back at him, and he's not doing anything. And the show just ends.
Yeah, Rowan and other Rowan, fake Rowan, both turn to look at Roman. Like, Reigns just stands there. And you're like, okay, show's gone off air. What is the kayfabe explanation for what happens next? What happens at 11:01 in this world that you're trying to tell? Does Roman just stand there and go, all right, fair enough.
Oh, well. I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. I mean, but it totally makes sense because you could be mistaken for Rowan. I'm going to have to sue you.
This was... it was bizarre. I mean, essentially, they did the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
It was just remarkable in many ways.
I don't know how everyone kept a straight face in that scene as well. This angle is a middle of the episode angle that's played up for laughs. Like, here's your real attacker. It's a fake Rowan who, could be mistaken. Because, like, what I think's gone down here is Bryan has obviously found someone to cover his tracks.
That's exactly
This guy had
it,
nothing to do with it.
No.
It was all Rowan and him.
Yes.
But it's so obvious. It's not a cliffhanger. It's not engaging. So just have that in the middle of the show and, make it more of a comedy thing, because there's no way this segment was going to be anything other than comedy.
Yeah. I told you my perfect ending I would have done instead, where they would have revealed it. So they actually would have had the cloaked man facing Roman, and then what they would have revealed is a big mirror with like arms and legs on it, so it looks like it's a human being. And then you have the camera shot of Roman looking at his own reflection. He attacked himself because and I was like, well, I mean, it's still rubbish, but it kind of would have made more sense than it being this guy.
What would you have had? Like, I can't think of anything because they built it up so much.
I think I'm honest, I genuinely believe they set up last week's angle not knowing what the payoff was. And then I've spent the last 7 days going like, what's the payoff going to be? And then they were scrabbling around. Vince probably rewrote it. And that's why the guy's beard is so half dyed and looks pants, because they probably thought about it an hour before the show went on the air. I was like, it's a guy that looks like Rowan. Just do that, pal.
Let's do the backup plan.
Yeah.
The plan that we came up with first if we couldn't think of anything else.
Yeah, that's a bit rubbish, yeah. We could probably do something better, though.
Okay, well, overall, I thought this was a bad episode of SmackDown, which had very damaging character developments, bad payoffs, non-intentional comedy, and it was a bit boring.
Yeah, I gave it a SmackDowner.
Yeah, what's that?
2 out of 5.
Yeah, a low 2 out of 5 for me as well.
I think I might have given it a high just because I like Buddy Murphy.
But let's get over to your super chats to see what you have to say.
Well, as always, as seems to be the way now, we've got a lot.
Hey.
So, let's get through them. Will HM says, I would rather see Riddle in Owens' place. He plays a more natural renegade, not to mention he's a more believable badass with his MMA background.
I like Owens in this role. Don't like him apologising to Shane McMahon.
I disagree because Riddle, like, he has that look, but he doesn't have the promo skills that Owens has. And this anti-authoritarian role is much better suited to a very good promo guy.
Also, I don't think Matt Riddle would care about authority.
Yeah.
He'd just be like, whatever.
Yeah, it's not his character.
Will Adams, Luke Owens' #1 fan,
Cheers,
says, it has come to my attention that someone else claims to be Luke's #1 fan, so I challenge that individual to a match at Survivor Series. Winner gets the title of Luke's #1 fan.
Book it.
How will they decide?
Well, the winner.
Thumb war.
Well, I mean, the most devastating of all wars.
Jesse Venable says, in just 2 weeks, WWE has made a star. Murphy's Law.
Yeah, he's not a star yet, but, this is
way.
steady building. It's very
I like
good.
it, yeah.
KJ says, that dumb angle at the end of SmackDown made me not care for this story anymore. It's almost like WWE is bad at delivering good angles. Wink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
It's Jason Jordan. Like, what they overthink it or don't have an actual end in mind.
Yeah, it's Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
Jobber JJ, Ollie Davidson #1 fan, says, King Chopper Whopper to you lads. Haven't been able to watch SmackDown Live today because of work. Here now, my guess of the attacker was Aleister Black. And that's because he hasn't watched the episode yet.
Yeah, no, it was not.
You know what? Just skip it. He'll be better that way.
Yeah, just watch the highlights. Watch the highlight of the Buddy Murphy match.
Forged by Gaming says, "Hey guys, I'm a stand-up comic who's competing tonight at Vermont's Funniest Comic.
Ooh.
Ollie saying he plans on stealing my NXT joke made me feel better about my comedy. Thank you guys, enjoy your day."
Good luck tonight.
Good luck, mate.
Sean Dunn said, "Run, Owens, run away from this storyline."
Yeah, run Owens, run.
Yeah.
Joseph Gonzalez says, "Kevin Owens didn't seem that badass this week."
No, he really didn't, did he? When he said, "I'm sorry, boss," and also begged for mercy.
Fun times. Dina Seasai says, "Hey y'all, longtime fan. Wanted to super chat for a while, but I couldn't when I was in Ethiopia. Love y'all. P.S. My last name is pronounced Seasai."
Ah, well, thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Seasai.
Nick Ward said, "Hi boys, did a poll with the 29 other Aussies. The general consensus was Buddy is awesome. By the way, happy birthday, Uncle Chop Chop."
Uncle Chop Chop.
Uncle Chop Chop Whoppy Wop. By the
Oh,
way,
Chopper.
you fluffy pig. You would say that about Buddy Murphy. You're Australian.
Mm-hmm.
But he is good.
He is great.
Ryan P. Bad says, "Chop of the birthday morning to you, King Chopper, Whopper, and the boys." Did you guys see what happened?
Lovely chops with the boys.
Lovely chops with the boys.
Lovely chops with the wops.
Wait. That's not a... Is that a racial slur?
Oh, God, I hope not.
I'm just going to check that. Whopper.
I was just shortening
I
wop.
don't
Whopper
think it
even.
is, no.
Is it not?
I think there's something that's similar.
Okay, it
but it's
means,
not.
I think it's a very outdated term for an Italian.
Oh,
immigrant.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think anyone uses it anymore, but let's not say it.
Let's
just
not
say
it anymore.
Whopper.
Let's say
Whopper's
Whopper.
okay.
Whopper's fine. It's Burger King.
Ryan P. Bad continues to say, "Did you guys see what happened to Ronda's finger?" Yeah, talked about that one earlier. And
yeah.
also, SmackDown was awesome.
Bam. Thanks, Eric.
I'm
for
glad
watching.
you liked it.
Yeah.
Christian Procell said, "If you think WWE are ruining Kevin Owens, give me a yowie wowie."
Yowie,
Yowie wowie. Oh.
Caleb Maldonado says, "Thoughts on the Sony and MCU Spider-Man split," which Ollie mentioned earlier is on Screen Stalker later today.
Head on over to Screen Store.
What a natural promotional spot. Yeah, go over to Screen Stalker. I think it'll be up in the next hour or so. Me and Laurie are talking very in depth about the Spider-Man stuff with Marvel.
My conspiracy theory is that it was Disney were the ones who leaked the information first to Deadline because they wanted to show Sony what the backlash would be if they backed out on this deal.
Link to that, Wilson Simon says Spider-Man to AEW confirmed. Jay Jones says, "I need to pay my phone bill." And I think it would probably be smart to not super chat and pay your phone bill first.
Pay that phone bill.
No, this is how you pay your phone bill. It's that super chat box. The money we'll send the money the right way.
Yeah.
Totally. Jobber JJ, Ollie Davidson's #1 fan, says, "Ollie, so happy you introduced King Chopper Whopper, LOL." I'm not quite so happy about it. Elizabeth Williams
birthday.
says, "Dump Shane, dump Shane."
Survivor Series,
Dump
man.
Shane, dump.
Yeah, it's going to be Survivor Series, surely. Team Shane versus
Keep saying
Team Kevin
that.
Owens. What? Where else are we? Where is it going to end? When else can it
WrestleMania
end?
39.
Yeah, well, apart from that, obviously.
Scorp 18 is Elite says, "I can't hear you because my eyes are closed."
Ooh, that's the wrong sort of sense,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I don't know. It depends if you listen through your eyes.
It sounds like a sort of, what's the word? Begins with A. Not alternative, not ambient, not vague.
Ambiguous.
Ambiguous
Oh, good.
song lyric.
Bloody hell, good job you're here, mate.
Adam Cho
What other
Ninja.
words could it be?
Adam Cho Ninja
Allegorical.
says, "Started my vacation today. Get to watch live for once. It's a lovely time with the boys."
Lovely time with the boys on holiday.
Timothy Beatty says, "No brand pay-per-views equals no takeovers equals pre-show." I don't think any of that is correct, but
No, we're still getting takeovers. They're just going to be on the network.
Like all other people.
Like all our pay-per-views, yeah.
Arachno says, "When KO was the prize fighter, it was for his family."
Yeah, so that is... But it wasn't, was it?
No.
Because that was his heel justification for beating people up so much. He was so obsessed with winning that actually He just said that it was for his family. That's my interpretation of what he used to do.
I just thought it was a gimmick that he just wouldn't fight unless he got paid more money because he was the prize fighter.
But it was
Yeah.
tied to
But this is very, very different to that. They're completely different. This is like someone emailed me recently saying like, don't know why you're so angry with Alexa Bliss. The Fiend's a tweener, but you like him. I'm like, I don't think you compare the Fiends to Alexa Bliss at the moment.
He's consistently a tweener. A tweener doesn't mean changing your character every day.
Phoenix says, another Aussie reporting in. Love you guys so much. By the way.
Lovely, thank you very much.
The way you said by the way there,
Yeah, I
thought
did
was
read that a
leading
bit
on
weird,
to
didn't I?
Yeah, you
another
did,
bit.
Yeah,
I'm
a
blaming
little
you for
weird.
that one, Chopper.
That was my fault entirely. Okay, OJ says, who do you think will win the first week of the Wednesday Night War? Much love, OJ.
Ooh.
It's tough because I don't know what how many homes TNT is available in compared to USA Network.
USA has more.
Does USA have more? Does it? Then you would expect NXT to pull in more than AEW.
Hey, if WWE keep up this stellar promotion job of NXT, then of course it's gonna win.
Yeah.
But I'd say NXT.
Yeah.
Because they've also gonna have a 2-week lead in.
Yeah, exactly.
2-3 weeks before so AEW starts.
Yeah, because I'd certainly imagine it'd be NXT.
Juan Ramirez, says, so NXT is on USA. What will be the new NXT? You should probably check out the WrestleTalk newsletter because I talk about that in my news.
Yeah. Is the answer Evolve?
Yes. Dylan J. Fox says, hey, Oil and Lunch. Good to see you lads live for once. If you could fantasy book another Shawn Michaels match, how would you do it?
Well, it's too big a question, but we'll say opponents.
AJ Styles.
Yeah, AJ Styles down
yeah.
in NXT for the soul of NXT.
Yeah. Wunch meat.
Aaron says, maybe I'm not cursed. Hashtag, who am I kidding? Totally cursed.
Did he start watching again?
I think he probably started watching again.
Oh, Aaron, mate. Oh, I'm so
This
sorry.
is your fault!
We were really enjoying Kevin Owens last week.
Dominic Campbell.
Wait, should we explain that to everyone?
We probably should.
Absolutely not.
Go on,
No?
Chopper.
Cool. Dominic Campbell said, surprised. You're surprised WWE are ruining Owens.
Yes, I am.
I thought they had it right this time.
And they've been on a run of really good shows at the moment.
We want to like stuff.
Adam Cho Ninja comes in again to say, Bryan and Rowan committed kidnapping last night. Just throwing that out there. What a heel.
Don't know if they were kidnapped. He looked like he was willing to be part of that.
Yeah, it was Eric's dad.
Yeah.
Vincent Slater says, Buddy's going to get screwed next week.
I mean, always look on the bright side.
Is he in a?
I don't know. I think
He's
that
not in
person
King of the Ring, is he? No, he is in King of the Ring.
Oh, yeah, he is, isn't he?
So yeah, I think like he'll somehow get.
I think he's winning. I
Cost
think
a
he's going to win and go into the next round.
Hopefully.
I believe he's facing Ali in the first round. Who we got next? B says, did you guys hear that Bray said The Fiend won't go PG?
Yes, we did. We talked about this yesterday. It was a report. I can't remember who the report was from. They said they were going to tone it down, and then he said, "That's not the case."
Yeah.
Was it
And
Ringside News?
Don't know.
Meltzer's also said that there's nothing to the reports of them toning down the Fiend
Yeah.
backstage. So that's good. I think we all just got in a bit of a panic because of how they chopped up the YouTube entrance after SummerSlam.
Completely.
Tana Starika says, if you ever get sour on WWE, just remember, at least Bray Wyatt is safe. Also, do you trust Vince, who doesn't care for NXT, to control it? RIP NXT. Again, might be a bit premature. Might need to check out the news later for that.
Yeah. So yeah, by all accounts, Vince is not going to have full control of it. It's still going to be a Triple H product. But you know, we'll see. Time will be because like the thing is, if it turns out that it doesn't pull in ratings, that's when Vince will start to have a word and start to put his oar in and get his ideas across.
Joey Covington says, love that Randy Orton is more fired up.
Yeah, he was so good in that opening segment.
Completely agree.
King Rasta says, SmackDown last night did not grab my attention at all. The Kofi and Randy brawl was lackluster.
Oh no, I like the. That's one of my favorite bits of the show.
Yeah, it was good, but just compared to the Raw angle, was lacking.
I feel like this super chat came in before we got towards the end of this stream because it says, from William Buhner says, thanks for not yelling when you criticize segments, which I feel like you did later on.
Well, you know, Sometimes you've got to get your passion across.
Yeah, that's how Randy cuts promos now.
Yeah, it's how we do the news.
Sidesh Majankar, sorry if I butchered that name. It's funny how most of your WrestleRamble titles have the word ruining in it. Speaks so much about the WWE product. I feel so sorry for KO.
It's a triggered word.
Yeah. But it's also pretty accurate in this case.
I'd say so.
William Buhner again says, you guys are the best, especially Ollie.
Ah, thank you.
It's good for you to get those sort of messages after your negative. You had a lot of backlash in the podcast today.
People don't like those iTunes
They
reviews.
do not.
Dina Seasai, I remembered it this time. Anyone else convinced it was Rowan who was trying to kill Roman and Buddy was not lying?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that was the insinuation of this. Because Daniel Bryan's saying he's accusing everyone else of being a liar, but he's doing so much to lie to cover this up, which really falls down as a strategy. Like, if Bryan is behind all of this, what's the point of lying for 2 weeks apart from drawing out a storyline?
Beats me, bud. That's why I said Buddy Murphy. Because maybe that's why Murphy's been so confused in who he's been fingering, as the culprit. So it's just him covering his own tracks, and it is him that's done it.
Flaming Live says, I got a Facebook memory of me saying the WWE would make Bobby Roode and Asuka stars. How wrong I was. Yeah. WWE need to let wrestlers be themselves, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
God, what a depressing Facebook. I don't go on Facebook anymore just because of stuff like that. Here's you being an idiot in 2009.
I had one yesterday. I went on there when I was chatting to my wife, because I don't really go on Facebook either. But it was a Facebook post from a few years ago when me and Laurie were on a stag do, and we were drunk at the Doctor Who experience in Cardiff, and we were taking photos with all of the things not connected to the event. It was just there's a lovely picture of him posing with light sockets. It's wonderful stuff.
Brandon Raider says, did you see that cracking 205 Live 10-man tag match from last night?
No. I think you were probably the only person who did. It's my weekly burial of 205 Live.
Yeah, it's a failed experiment. It's very good wrestling, but no one cares.
Yeah.
Spankster says, choppy, you're Pete.
Choppy what now?
Choppy, you're Pete.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It's like the Kai and Tai Val Venus segment.
That's great.
It's great. Nators WP says, a name of an XFL team is going to be Vipers. What names can you come up with that go with wrestlers' gimmicks? For example, St. Louis Vipers, Pensacola Big Dogs, West Newbury Thugs. This could be great.
Where's Braun from? Monsterville.
Monsterville.
The Monster Island Monsters.
Green Bay Undertakers.
Is he from Green Bay?
I don't know.
He's from Death Valley.
Yeah.
In Texas. No, I'm going to say it's obviously got to be the Boston Daniel Bryans.
Perfect. Parts unknown, big red machines. Foreskin Mac says, happy birthday, Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic.
Oh, is it his birthday
actually is
today?
his birthday today.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
Matthew tweet
Adam
about it earlier.
Pacitti.
Yeah, happy birthday, pal.
Elizabeth Williams says, it was Rowan's out-of-work brother.
Yeah.
Anyway, some people got to get work. Hey, Eric Angle got a job for a little bit.
He did. Owen Keating says, hiya lads, what's next for the Undisputed Era? Just kidding. Could I get a shout out for my 21st birthday today from a low $10 pledge hammer?
Hey,
Happy
happy bloody birthday to you. Also, don't steal all my NXT Ramble titles.
Who was that from, sorry?
Owen Keating.
Happy birthday, Owen
Keating.
I guess it's Owen. It's EOGHAN.
Yeah, I think that's Owen.
Owen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, enjoy Ramble Club next week.
You Will Suffer Gaming says, a very merry unbirthday to you, Chopper. Thanks. Tim Arndt says nothing because my thing has just refreshed. Tim Arndt says, not even Rowan's Satyricon shirt could get me through that closing segment.
Yeah, it's obviously the metal band of the week from Rowan.
Judas Black says, Moment of Bliss segments are the best thing ever.
We know you don't mean that.
Justin Anzaldua says, it should have been Vin Diesel. After all, he is feuding with The Rock, the Dwayne versus the Diesel.
It should have been Dolph Ziggler.
No, should it have been?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Always.
I think that actually would have been worse than him revealing that it was not Eric Rowan.
But it would have been the most 2019 thing.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, yeah.
Owen Keating is back again to say, also can't believe I share the same birthday as Pacitti and Pete. Thanks, man. James Quinn says, a bad WWE show is always better when you just watch the highlights on YouTube. That's what I do anyway.
Yeah. When you watch like a 10-minute cut down of a 2-hour show,
It's fine.
it's probably much better.
Yeah.
Tana Starika says, birthday today, guys. So many birthdays. 28 years young. Got my green card, maybe? Just says got my green.
Could be green card.
Green card.
Maybe
And
it's the money.
And a lovely time with the boys.
$1 bill, y'all.
As a request, can I get a shout out? Also, hello, King Chopper Whopper. Hi.
Oh, shout out to
Happy
you. What was the name?
birthday.
Tana Starika.
Oh, well,
Tana Starika, happy
birthday to you. There's a lot of people born in August. It's because it's 9 months after Christmas.
Shocking. And almost 9 months after New Year, if you were
I'm too full.
early.
I'm too full and too drunk to do anything like that. More of a February shagger.
I've sorted out all the bills from Christmas. All the admin's out of the way for the
I
year.
haven't got any time. It's February. Got a nice 3-day stretch in February. I block book.
Before Valentine's or after?
Oh, it's nothing to do with Valentine's.
No. I was just curious if you were
it's
just...
the 7th.
Yeah,
The 7th to the 10th.
Yeah. It's just, all the admin's out of the way for the year, really.
It's better that way.
Our good friend Adam Pearson
Hey!
says, sorry I'm late. I was burning down Disney World.
Crikey.
It's
It's an
excessive.
extreme reaction.
It's an extreme reaction.
But the right one.
I do like, people are very much taking sides in this war. There's a petition to boycott all future Sony Spider-Man movies and the PlayStation. And I'm like, that's a bold move considering it's been out for about 4 years and it's probably sold the majority of its consoles at this point.
GoSoup12 says, just popping in to give you money.
Money!
I can't believe they kicked Spidey out of the MCU on Pete's birthday of all days. Sad times with the boys.
Won't somebody please think of the choppers?
My favorite image I've seen so far is someone post a picture of Spider-Man crying. It's just like, no more Avengers for you, only Venom.
Boo. What we got next? Tina Keys says, enjoying the content early morning here in Seattle. Keep it up, guys.
Oh, well, and scrambled eggs.
You made me forget all the words.
That's what I think when I think of
Tossed
Seattle.
salad and scrambled eggs.
Oh, baby.
Mercy.
Marcus Roman says, I'm disappointed. I liked Elias's old theme better.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about Elias. It's got a new
He got
theme now.
Music. Yeah, I mean, it just should just be him strumming his guitar.
If you can't put
And
that
then
up on Spotify.
And then he walks out. Yeah, good point.
Tomo
Tomo.
says, Pete, how many birthdays do you have? I've said happy birthday like 4 times this week. Hey, I have 1, but according to Ollie, it's every day. Thanks, Ollie.
Happy birthday.
It's because we like you so much, Pete. We want to treat every day that you work here like it's your birthday.
I wish that was true.
Didn't you once say that? You said come in here every day is like a birthday for you.
Yeah.
No, definitely never said
I'm
that.
pretty sure he said that, yeah. When he was on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Raheel Prasad says, the mystery attacker looks like a fake Luke Harper.
No, it looks like a fake Eric Rowan.
Yeah, pretty much. It's been so long, I forgot what Luke Harper looked like. I was like, does he?
And then finally, Bill Bilson, twice, Margaret Esdell, and Jivanshu Dua, thank you for donating, but with no message.
Hey, thank you so much.
/ maybe they were trying to pay their phone bills. We don't know. We don't know how it
Possibly.
works. But thank you also to our wonderful pledge hammers on Patreon. $25 a month or more.
Do you want to plug the bonus stuff they've had this month?
Go, take it away.
Well, there you can get reviews of NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, the very first one from 2015 that features, get this, a corking match between Samoa Joe and Baron Corbin.
Old Baron Corbin.
Old Baron Corbin.
Lone Wolf Baron Corbin.
With his entrance music. And, the absolutely fantastic best women's match of all time in WWE, Sasha Banks versus Bayley. Corking ladder match between Finn Balor and Kevin Owens. And the so much fun tag match between the Vaudevillains and Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy with Alexa Bliss as their manager.
Oh, and Jushin Thunder Liger was on the show. What the hell?
That's right. Jushin Thunder Liger made his debut. It's an interesting time for NXT. We talk about it quite a bit. It was a time when they were allowing people to work there part-time and still work for other companies. Jushin Thunder Liger was going to do more shows with them, they were trying to work out deals with New Japan Pro Wrestling to have more of their stars come across.
And Samoa Joe was on a part-time contract
It was
as well.
indeed, yeah.
Nuts.
Absolutely nuts time. But yeah, we've got that Ramble Club. Our drunk cast is going to be out next week. We're going to record it next week,
Thursday,
right?
yeah,
Thursday
Friday.
next week. And you get the full unedited version of SoCal Val's Tea Time with former Raw Women's Champion, former WWE Women's Champion, rather, Melina.
Which is great.
It's
Yeah,
great.
so head over to WrestleTalk's Patreon page and become a Pledgehammer today to get all that stuff and take part in Wrestle League.
Yes, please.
Which is also a lot of fun, our Fantasy Predictions League. But the $25 a month or more also get a shout out on the podcast. Thank you to the Aussie Experience, Dave Humphries.
Hey! Down Swafter, the real boss, Matt Robinson.
Yes.
Yeah.
The real deal, sex appeal, Andy Puckets.
Oh,
Nice.
baby.
Oh, baby.
Oh, no. Yep, there it is. Just incredible. Edel Heat.
Nice.
Yes.
Edel Heights, maybe. Crow Ninja.
Oh, there's no rolling of the R's on this show.
So apologise for that.
Be careful with him. Fragile.
Yeah, he's just called Fragile.
Sure,
All
right,
right.
sure. Salutations, Josh Shalom.
Yeah, salutations
Yes, nice.
indeed. The Jester, Ryan Kester.
Woo,
yeah.
It rhymes.
Ultra Magnus Jules Thompson.
Ultra Magnus.
What a name.
Transformers reference.
Bailey Sting, number 2, fam.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. Diving Donovan Garcia.
Yeah.
This is a great name. The D. John Mustard.
Oh, it's so good.
That's great.
Who
It's
came up
not-
with that?
That's not me. That's all him.
Oh, that's all mustard, baby. Jonathan King of the Ring.
Yeah, timely,
Yes.
timely. You son of a bitch. Dylan Terrell Reed.
Yes.
Dylan.
And finally, Kirsten. Just Kirsten.
Just Kirsten.
Yeah.
Love you, just Kirsten.
Please click the videos on screen now to catch up with the latest awesome Wrestle Talk videos and go over to Screen Stalker because we will have all the news on Spider-Man potentially leaving forever the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's a really big deal. And also Beat Thy Mario Maker.
Beat Thy Mario Maker, our new feature that we're doing on there, which we very much enjoyed recording.
Yeah. I've been Ollie Davis. This has been Luke Owen. Over there was Chopper Whopper Pete Quernell, the king. And that was Rambling.